All right, switching hats. Let's be one thing clear here. My YouTube is about me talking to the camera and some of my friends listening. If you come to my page because you think I'm a content creator, I am not. I'm just an old dude with a cell phone and a lot of free time. So when I post a video, it will be 97% of me talking. If you don't like my voice, you should probably not go further. If you want to hear what I'm talking about, I'll post a link so you can hear the video of whatever choosing. But I am not a content creator. I am an old dude with a camera. So I will be talking for the majority of any video that I post, most likely. That being settled, this Somalian daycare thing has been all over my YouTube, and it's been exciting. It's been fun. It's been slightly entertaining. So I decided I'm going to talk about it, but not like everybody else. I'm just going to poke some holes in the story. So this guy, Nick Shirley, I will link his video for sure because his is the one that blew the internet. He goes around Minnesota, around Minneapolis, one of my favorite cities in the world. What? Yeah, it's a gorgeous city. And he starts to poke at the fabric of the Somalian daycare ring that's going on. And he shows that all these things are happening. Everybody's getting paid for daycare with no kids. So the funny thing about Muslim folks that I've learned is they're not great at lying, or they're not as advanced at lying as the US is, which is a good thing, I think. They're a little more honest, they're a little more honest. And to the extent that I would say that some of them might even think they're doing the right thing by the books, because if you can do it, then do it. This Wild Wild West almost. So I sympathize with them. If somebody says, hey, this is how the system works in America. Open up a business license, turn your house into a child care center, get a roster of kids, and then you will make money from the government for being a child care provider. And then with that money, you can do what it is you wish. You can choose to pay the parents who sign their kids up and let them do what they want to do with their kids. And you keep part of the money, they keep part of the money. But it's your money because it's your business. And that somehow makes sense to some of them. And that's how it works. And you know what the thing is living in the Middle East, I can see that as a mindset. Honestly, if you're going to give me the money, then I'm going to use it how I want to use it. And a lot of things don't get done. But hey, as they say, inshallah, And it is what it is. In America, we call it fraud. Here, it's just business. So, to some extent, I'm sympathetic of it. Like, somebody told me to do this and I'll make money. I want to make money because I want to support my people. Right there is where I draw the issue. The Somalian community is not, although born mostly now in America, that Somalian community is not pro-America. They just aren't. All of their ways, all their ideals, all of their tactics, all of their loyalty is to a country they weren't born in now. Their fathers were, their mothers were. And that is where I draw the line. I can't come to a country in the Middle East or anywhere and decide to set up camp and say, no, this is new America. This is the America of China. We're going to do things the American way. No, it doesn't work. America is the only country where you can hate it every day and stay there. I can't even say that I don't like the leader of this country publicly and keep the right to stay here. You can't even say the words in these countries. You can't say the words in any countries. Let me go to Russia and let them know how much I don't like them. I probably won't make it out. Okay? as it should be. This is a country, we stand for one thing here. If you want to be here, you do it how we say it. You don't come here and tell us what it is. You come here and you get what it is. That is where America fails. Okay, so the Somalian community in America is loyal to Somalia more than America. Ask them. It's not a guess. Ask them. But they'll play the I'm a Somali American card when needed. They'll definitely play the card when needed. But yes, back on topic. So this guy, Nick Shirley, is a content creator. Now, that is all we seem to promote all over America for I don't know how long. Everybody's like, hey, if a little girl wants to do a news story about selling lemonade in the Bronx and the dangers of it, all the news crews are going to cover it and call her a little future journalist, you know? But if a guy wants to expose fraud in daycare and childcare centers, and it's against whatever, then we call him what they call him, they call him a MAGA reporter. They called him a radical something else or something other. And it's like, okay, so anybody can create content as long as it's a stupid TikTok video dancing in traffic. Yeah, we can make content. But when it comes to something real, something that actually matters, you have to be politically, polarized with it. It is not a left or right issue. It is an America issue. That there's billions of dollars of fraud in Minneapolis alone. That is an America issue because it's nationally funded. Okay, so all tax money funds that. Okay, it's not a left or right thing. Now the fact is they said then they say it's a race thing. It's a Somali thing. He's anti-Somalian because it happens to be that all of the daycare centers he went to were Somali. So here's what I would say is, why doesn't he, to further his investigation, go to a white daycare or a black-owned daycare? Which he doesn't have to, because we know how it works. And that's the part where you play dumb, as that is creative journalism, is you have to play dumb and make them go there. We already know how to get into a daycare. The front door isn't locked. The second door is locked. Duh. So, in between the front door and the second door, there's posters and brochures, there's a phone number, there's business cards. Should you need something, but you're not authorized beyond the second door where the kid's safety is involved. That's how you make a daycare center. So, we can nix all that. Now, here's the interesting thing. When Nick Shirley came to those daycares, one thing he noted was the fresh snow and the empty parking lots. Okay, so then CNN came back and reported they met with the same daycare, and obviously they gave them a heads up, said, hey, on Tuesday we're going to be coming, we want to investigate this and prove that you're doing the right thing, obviously, because we're on your side. So on Tuesday they came, they made the phone call and said, hey, is there any fraud over there? To which the Somalian woman replied, no, there's no fraud. And then that was the story. See, there's no fraud. They said it right there. How lame is that? And then they gave them security cam footage of traffic with kids going in and out, less than 10 it looked like. But for a daycare that's allowed 40 children, 10 of them came. Not that it matters. What matters is nobody cares to think about, in this day and age, how easy it is to doctor footage with AI and everything else. Okay? How easy it is to doctor footage. But what really gets me is security cam footage, which is already terrible. All you have to do is set your clocks on your cameras to whatever date you wanted to say, and then turn in the footage and say, see, on this date, we were open at this time. Of course, the guy that worked the business next door to the Leering Center, and yes, that's Leering without an N, he said, no, there's never kids here. out of the blue. Yeah, I've been here for 8 years. I've never seen kids through here. Cool. But now, yesterday there was kids, and then Nick Shirley came on the day we were closed, but it said we were open because of our business hours. And now, here's what gets me. Why don't they look into that footage with CCTV cameras or whatever we have in America to see if that was actually doctored? Because when Nick went, the snow didn't look like that. If they were there the day before, those tracks would have been in the snow, right? But there's cameras on corners, at least in Chicago there are. There's ring cameras. Everybody's got a camera somewhere looking at that parking lot. Somebody else had a camera in that parking lot that could show the traffic the day before. And once you find out that that footage was doctored, then there should be consequences, both for U.S. citizens or Somali refugee. Whatever the case, whoever's involved, there is a penalty for doing things like that, okay? So that's really where I kind of draw the line with it is we are making this into a race thing just because a group of people did something wrong of the same race. We're not saying get rid of all Somalians. You could just make a little chart and it'd be like, hey, this person's Somali on the left, this person's Somali on the right. This person on the left works in IT and comes home, and he's got a drinking problem. And this person on the right owns a childcare business, but doesn't have any children present. Which one should be in trouble? And you can put two people in the group on each side. And on the left side, they're both the same demographic, but one's born here and one came here. And same on the right. They're both Somali, and one's born here and one came here, and they both have daycares that are making public record millions of dollars. So they're making $1 million business moves, but they aren't showing any proof of children. Okay, now what I'm pretty sure happens is a family can sign up at multiple daycares, a Somali family, because you can't actually sign up at these daycares if you're not in, right? So if a regular person of non-Somali descent, which is again racial profiling, comes to this door, they're not allowed to sign up. So it would be a Somali family that could sign up at the Leering Center and at New Hope and at whatever, all 4 local daycares, and then all 4 daycares give this lady a kickback for signing her kid up at the daycare. She never attends. And so if they were to audit, the way you should audit the daycare system is you audit all of them, unannounced, on the same day, at the same time. That way, your 400 kids that are divided between these daycares can't be seen at those daycares. You see what I'm saying? And you don't give them a schedule. You don't give them a knock and say. You just go and check it out with the authority of government, which can go into and inspect the buildings that they fund. It's just that simple. And so on any given day, even if you put up your own surveillance just for head counts on all of those systems, all at the same time, this is a government mandated camera inside of the system, not outside, just to see who comes in, nothing more, just to see who comes in and who checks out at whatever time, because we believe that something fraudulent is going on here. That doesn't sound crazy. It doesn't have to face in, it can face outward, so you're not actually watching what people are doing there, but we need to monitor who comes in and out of the main entrance at what times, and then do it on all of them at all times for, I don't know, a month. And let's see what your attendance really is. It's just an attendance camera, nothing more. Okay? So then you're going to really have to be making some moves. And then we'll notice a lot of people calling out and a lot of kids missing school for a month because they have to be checking into these daycares. Then we'll see the pattern, right? That's how that works. But if you're not going to actually investigate it, or you as a, I guess, leftist person who wants fair equality, which doesn't exist. You want it so bad that you're willing to make it into it's a race issue. That's what it is. It's because you don't like Somalians. You are missing the point. And hey, maybe they don't like Somalians. Some people don't like black people. That doesn't mean you can't be in America. That's part of America too. Hate, bigotry, all of that, that's all American. Okay? So let's not act like we're like angels or something. Okay? Leftists hate rightists. Just what it is. The middle hates the outside. Everybody hates somebody. That's the human condition. And it doesn't mean it's okay, but you can't just say, oh, so you're being human. This is what throws me, is like people like the Pope. Who the hell is this dude? Is he perfect or something? Why are we worshiping him? I don't understand that. That's not what the Bible says. Either way. So we got this going on. And it's really funny because I don't know what's real news and what's fake news coming across YouTube. A lot of stuff, it just seems like people, they make that initial cover image with the big crazy words to catch you, to get you to click, but it's not really what's happening in the video. So I get tired of listening to it. But what the fact is that Nick Shirley did a very good story of real journalism, professionally, on a budget, put it out there, better than CNN does it, and for such, he's now under attack, which is crazy because you're still missing the point. It doesn't matter how you get the knowledge or who gives it to you. The fact is still, there's a bunch of fraud. So now they're going from Minnesota, they've gone to Ohio, and now they're going to Washington, and it seems to be a Somalian thing, and that's okay. Kind of like said, hey man, I'm cracking down on this crack house. Probably gonna be some black people in there in Chicago in a crack house. It just is what, it's not a racial thing. You know, if you go to Wall Street and you want to stop the cocaine that's going on, probably gonna be some white dudes. It's not a race thing. It's just cocaine, just chasing the cocaine. Okay, so if you want to look at fraud in daycare centers in America right now, present day, you're probably gonna find some Somalians. Not a race thing. It's just the fact is you're gonna run into some Somalians when you do that. Problem with the Somalians, to me, is they are not loyal to the land they live in. They're loyal to a land somewhere else. And that's not, hey, all power to you. But if you're loyal to them, go there. Don't come to America. It's like those California people. And I got some good friends in Cali, but y'all want to mess up a beautiful... California is arguably one of the most beautiful states in America for so many reasons. The big trees, the hills of LA, the beaches, San Diego. San Francisco used to be nice, I understand. All of that's all in one place. Mountains, beaches, deserts, trees, forests, all of that in one state. You don't have to cross state lines to do that. Why would you screw that state up by the way you vote? Because it's one of the worst states to live in. Then move to Nevada and vote the same way. Because it's too expensive to live in the state that you created. Why not just stop voting like idiots? And I mean that, seriously. Why would you come from your idiot state and then move to Texas? And I mean it passionately, because Texas is the greatest country in America. And then vote like you're still in California. You retards. It is frustrating to think that you would come to some other place and try to turn it to the place that you don't want to live in. So if you love your Muslim way of life and your beautiful culture, which it is a beautiful culture, then why are you in America? You don't even like America. You don't like America's laws. You don't like America's people. You don't like America's customs. Why are you there? And you can say it's just for the money. We're okay with that. Don't act like you love America. You just like the money. Absolutely okay with that. But making American money comes with American rules. So, play by the rules. That's it. Doesn't matter if you're Somalian or Nigerian or wherever. And if you're not playing by the rules, this is also an American rule. If you don't play by the rules, don't get caught. Just that easy. If you think it's getting hot, bail out. You gotta grab your go bag and get back to Somalia. Because if you're going to play by rules in America, they come down real harsh. They don't really bend a lot, unless you're white and you got some money, because like basically what happened, and I don't really care about the race of, basically what happens is in America, a lot of people get caught up doing what rich white people do, but you're not rich and white. I just recently saw that dude, he was on the Fugees. He got caught up. They gave him like 10 years. And his sentence, or what he was sentenced for, was what some rich white people do. But he's not that. And it was like, that's not even technically illegal, I don't think. I know that's what people do. Just not you, sir. You can't do it. I know I can't do certain things in America. It just is what it is. I'm just a brother. Like I don't get those same opportunities or privileges. I'm not crying about it. Where I fit in, I fit in. I'm allowed to walk down the streets of Chicago a little bit and not get beat up sometimes. That's a privilege of mine. Okay, so whatever. But if you look at the epicenters for these new breakouts of this fraud, it does appear to be bluer states. I mean, Washington, Seattle area, Minneapolis. Come on now. What are y'all doing? And I'm okay with it, actually. I just don't want it to bleed into red states. Why don't you just make your blue state what you want to make it, and then stay there, though, and live with it? That's all I'm saying. I like to live in a state where if you trespass, you got the right to get shot. That's the type of state I like to live in. And then I just keep my black behind off other people's property. Then I don't get shot. And I'm cool with that. But if you come to mine, then I get to shoot you. And that's just the law of the land. I'm about that business. Okay? So when you're dealing with these people, it's not about your race. It's about the rules. It's about being smart and not getting caught. Because some white people went to jail over it too. It's anybody can get it. We have a screwed up country, but you love it and you want it. You want to be there. So you got to live by the screwed up rules. Every country is screwed up. Stop trying to fake like it's not. If we live in the reality of it and we just let it be what it is, call it what it is, we can all be a little bit happier knowing, because we know what we're getting into. There's no surprise. Like, that's what I don't like. I don't like the surprise when people are like, oh, I thought it was one thing, but now it's another. You know what you're doing. You know you're filing paperwork fraudulently to show attendance to, and then, so back to the lying thing, which I love it. It's cute. They put out what I call them Smee Diddy. They put him on the news and said, Somalis, we are good people. And unfortunately, we've been attacked. It's not harassment. It's not harassment. It's not hate speech to ask questions. It's not hate speech just because you hate the sound of the speech. Okay? So, I just heard that the Washington the mayor of Seattle, I think she said, contact this number if you've been a victim of this hate crime of targeting Somalian daycares. I guess that's a hate crime to ask a daycare for information. It's not a hate crime. It's not hate speech. Just because you don't like it, just because it shines a light on some bullcrap you're doing. That's not hate. Okay? So, they put Smee Diddy up, and he's like, yeah, so they broke in through the back wall here, and it was at 3 o'clock. And then, unfortunately, they stole all of our documentation about our kids. Which, if there was documentation, which I doubt, but if there was documentation, what benefit do you have in stealing the information of a bunch of people who might just not have great credit scores? You know, you might help them out, give them a bump in the credit scores, what you end up doing. Like, beautiful lie, very cute, very honest, like, legitimately, I'm gonna be the man of the house and stand up and do, but you're still not a man, you're a boy, and it's evident in the way you talk. You think you're a man because you crossed a threshold that we hold you accountable as a man, but you're still a boy because of the way you talk. That was silly, man. That was real silly. And yeah, so Smee Diddy, he gave him the speech. He said this is what he had to do to protect his community, is get up there and lie for him. And now, if I'm protecting you, if it's my job to protect you, I do believe in doing it at all costs. And would I lie for you? I mean, I'd have to say, if I love you enough, I'd lie for you, I guess. You know, and the Somalians, they love themselves. So let me try and sneak on here, see what's going on. Thank you. Take care. So, yeah, I feel you, man. That loyalty is there. But once you get caught up in your lie for the people you're lying for, then you got to own up to that too, right? So if I lie for you, I'm taking it with me too. So now we both get it. I'm not going to let you fall for it. I fall for you for it if somebody's got to go down, because I'm lying for you. I'm covering for you. That's the code, okay? But he's lying. Americans, we lie very well. We're very used to it. We know he lies like a 7-year-old. So, and we're giving him due process and like dignifying this by treating him like an upstanding citizen. But if you tracked him for 24 hours and you saw what his day-to-day life was, would you assume that it's like he's out here helping old people cross the street? Well, probably Somalian old people. But like, or do you think he's out here just grinding and hustling like every other, you know, dark-skinned brother in America? He's just out there hustling. Just a regular dude. But you jumped in the line of fire. You made your statement. You got to hold that. You got to live with that. And that's absolutely okay. Don't cry about it. We got this soft side of us now in America that really is our Achilles heel. I guess that's not a true statement, because as they say in Chinatown, to the hammer, everything looks like a nail. And if that doesn't make sense to you, it's to say, as a conservative, right-winged, difficult person to contend with sometimes, who doesn't, I'm not a fair person. I don't believe in fairness. So I'm not looking for it. So that's hard to hear for some people. But to me, everything looks too soft, you know. And then to an extreme, if left unchecked, maybe my ideologies will turn into the old Soviet way. I don't know, but I don't think so. I think I stay level enough. I can argue on both sides of the aisle enough to say, you know, to keep some kind of logic in the game. I know this is getting long, and it's not much about Somalians so much as it's about being good people. And I really think that's what I'm talking about. And I understand that my view is subjective and tainted, and I can only see but a portion of the truth from my angle. I understand that. So what I think makes a good person, I can't be 100% right about that. And that's the preclaimer or the precursor to anything that you hear me say. It is impossible for the human to speak 100% truth, you know, at exhaustion on any subject. Is that right? Light red? Yes, that is 100% true. But then you could argue, but what if a guy's colorblind? Then it's not red anymore, right? So I don't know where to go with that. Here's what I'm saying. I'm saying that we need each other, and we need to hold each other accountable for things. So Somali and whoever's, right now you got the hot seat. We're going to clean it up a little bit, and you can stay in America. Maybe pay back some of that money, you know? Yeah, it's not about race. It's not that simple. You gonna do, like, look, brothers gonna do brother things, white folk gonna do white folk things, Somalians gonna do Somalian things. It's just what it is. You have a tendency, it's called a stereotype. Don't like it? Tough. That's pattern recognition. That's important for survival of a culture and a species. So we recognize a pattern. Y'all tend to open daycare centers. Y'all tend to not like to be open to Americans unless it's for strictly business. And your daycare centers aren't strictly business. You say you want to integrate into America, or that you have integrated in America, but we know the Somalian community is tight-knit. And the only way to get in is you got to be a white dude with some money who's trying to shake hands and do something for the community because they just didn't let regular white folk in there. Or you got to be somebody who knows somebody's son and they grew up together. Like, you got to have an in to get into the Somalian community, or you got to bring some money. And I didn't mean they letting you in, but they might let you speak at the meetings and say thank you and how great everything is. And that's that bull crap, because it's not great. It's not great, you know, but they'll take your praise and your accolades. And it just doesn't matter, bro. It doesn't matter what you think. Your feelings are irrelevant, man. What needs to happen needs to happen. That's why I'm going to the gym right now. I don't feel like it, but it's got to happen. So, yeah, again, my viewpoint, it's not perfect. It's just from what I can see from here. Nor is yours. In fact, you could just stop listening to me from here on, and you might be better off. That's how terrible of a viewpoint I might have. But if I'm going to be speaking, and if you're going to be listening, I'm going to always urge to take the harder road, to do the more difficult thing, the less tendency thing to do, because the growth that comes from it will better you. It will better you because, like going to the gym, like studying hard, those hard things make you better. Okay, so none of this easy stuff works. You making easy money, running a scheme, cool. Would I like to be rich? As older I get, the less I feel like I want to be rich. Apparently, rich people do weird stuff. I just want to be able to, I want to be wealthy. Wealthy and rich are two different things. And they're defined differently. And it's subjective, yes. I want to be wealthy enough to spend more time with the people I want to spend time with than with my boss and my coworkers. That's how wealthy I want to be. Yeah. I got a hand a little bit. But, as always, I'm just here to try to help us all to understand a little bit of the world from my view. Again, if you don't like me talking, probably just shouldn't check my channel out, because it's just a lot of me talking and driving. Yep. Love you.